Brett from Beautiful Sip and Stitchery, now open in Roscoe, Illinois. I'm here today with two of my friends, Amanda and Carol. I wanted to introduce them because they're going to be teaching a couple of our upcoming classes. And also, we'll start with Amanda. So she is the designer and executor of our project bags.
Yes.
I think, we have one. Yep. And I'll post a couple other pictures too. But look how cute that is. And it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
This weekend. And so perfect for Memorial Day or 4th of July. They're all vinyl front, and then the cork is just lovely. And the zippers are really high quality too, which is really nice. So that's the face behind the bag.
Yep.
And then I'll let Amanda tell us about this.
Love. So this is a kind of vision from my mom and my friend Carol to have a sofa station. So when you're sitting at your sofa, you can put this over the arm either way. You have pockets for your remote, your glasses, your scissors. And then we have magnets here. So we have a needle minder.
How cool is that? I didn't know about the magnet.
Yep. So you have a little catch-all. You could put your clippings in there. We have a felt spot where you can put your pins and your needles, and then a needle minder. Carol's also been testing this week for me a little thread bed. So we had like a trifold thread bed that we kind of are working on. And then this one's still a little bit in progress, but to hold your thread drops.
Yeah.
So, and this is by magnet
with a
too.
ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you
will
do
hold
it,
your
well,
ring.
because obviously you put them on a ring, so then you can just...
So just need to make sure the magnets are strong enough, depending on how many threads you have. And then on the back, we have a clear vinyl pocket. So whatever you need in there, and this pocket will hold up to an 8-inch hoop. So...
it's like the Swiss Army knife.
I know. I never thought of it that way. So I made this as a display for the shop. So if you're interested, please come in and see it. We'll just have it on the couch, so you can check it out. And then we'll take custom orders for it. So I used 3 fabrics. I used 1, 2, and then a third fabric on the back and coordinated them.
Look at the bees.
Yep.
It's a beautiful arm, Caddy.
So you could pick out your own fabrics, or we could, discuss what fabrics you're looking for, but they'll be custom, so they'll
like
be
a certain theme, right? Or something.
Yeah, so we can have a conversation, and I can give you some ideas of some fabrics that might fit it, and then just have you choose. You really love the cup, don't you? So it has been kind of fun playing with magnets, actually. But yeah, so that's what the little project I've been working on recently.
I love it.
I love it too.
So it'll be here on the arm of the chair, so you can check it out in real life.
And you can sit and do that.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's like
awesome.
a fidget thingy,
I'm
too.
glad you like
See,
it.
a Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
It's got all kinds of things. So Amanda is also going to be teaching our beginner cross-stitch class. So that is for complete beginners. Someone who's never sewn or maybe picked up cross-stitch fairly recently and needs some additional instructions. Bless you.
We really want to make it so that it's for complete beginners, because we want people to come that don't even know anything about cross-stitch, the materials, the tools, and to feel completely comfortable and not intimidated by any vocabulary or anyone with more knowledge. So we really want to invite you if you've ever been interested in cross-stitch and haven't done it before.
So why are you teaching? No, tell us about you.
I have stitched since I was a little girl. So I snuck in my mom's sewing room and pulled out her cross-stitch and a pattern and just started stitching. And I've been crocheting since I was little too. I learned how to knit in my 30s. I did a lot of knitting. And I started quilting, and that's when I started making these bags, because the project bag or something like this is because I had a need to contain whatever project I was working on. And so my quilt scraps became my project bags and got kind of refined over the years. So everything kind of leaned into it.
This is one of your earlier...
It is.
Oh.
So I can't believe she has it in her bag. This is one of the first 5 bags I've ever made in my whole life. And I started making them. That's hilarious that you have it.
It is the best travel
for
bag.
knitting. That's what I made them for.
Perfect.
But I do have the absolute very first bag that I ever made. It's in my suitcase. It lives there. It has all my cords for charging.
Do you have your first cross stitch that you ever did?
I don't, but I do know what pattern it was, and I've been looking for it on eBay to buy the pamphlet. But my mom managed a Michaels when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So I did almost everything.
Sure.
But this is where I'm at now. I always come back to cross-stitching. So.
And you are a very good educator, too.
Yeah.
You've taught me.
Yeah. Well, I like to share my knowledge.
You educate for a living, too, kind of. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's,
I do.
Sense.
So it just makes sense to help teach things that you already love, right? So we're going to get the cross-stitching class, and then
also the end of July, and I'll put the dates below in the description. Now we sound like real Flosstubers.
Check the description.
Check the description. Subscribe. Don't forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will put the details below and a link also to where you can sign up. But she's teaching a finishing class for all of us serial, what do you call that? When you finish the stitching but not fully finish it.
FFOs?
Yeah, something
fully
finish.
You say
we
that.
don't FFO.
No, you don't FFO.
I'm a non-FFOer.
We're just making up our own terminology now.
We need a word.
I've heard you say that before, but I can't think of the
that?
terminology. But she'll finish it and put it in a drawer.
In a drawer,
right?
yeah. Like I iron it, I press it, I do like the whole thing, and it's really nice. But I don't FFO it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a UFO because that's when it's not completely stitched. It's
if there is a word, let us know. But I don't know what the word is. But anywho, so we are going to try to focus on finishing to help people like me. And so one of the things that we're doing is the tree lot finishing class. So it's the hands-on design pattern, but we are not going to finish it in a little bucket, which was adorable, but we're going to finish it as an ornament instead. So Christmas in July, and then that way you still have plenty of time to do some for any friends or family that you want to for Christmas. So I will put a picture in of what the pattern looks like, and we should have the model very soon so you can see it in person too. But yeah, so that should be
I'm really excited about that because a lot of people, I swear, I was born with a glue gun in my hand because my mom worked at Michael's my whole life, right?
Yeah.
So, we're gonna get these ornaments finished so you can give them as gifts for Christmas.
And then last thing about Amanda, and then we'll go to Kat, is she, and I will put a picture in, she stitched our beautiful sleeping bee that hangs in the entry of the shop. She surprised me with it a few weeks ago. And actually, it was featured on the Blue Flowers Flosstube, too. And so it's really beautiful. And you have to check it out when you come. But I'll put a picture in so you can see. Because the fabric and how she did it and finished it was
so
beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Well, imagine sitting and stitching with your friends, and one of your friends starts saying that she's going to open a cross-stitch store. So the absolute first thing I did when I left that day was I found a bee to stitch, and I was able to complete it and finish it.
Yeah, by when we
in time for the grand opening. So that was exciting.
I really said I had a big announcement. I'm sure everybody was like, what?
I know. I was like, oh, she's leaving. Like, my heart rate was like, I was going down.
Oh, you thought she was going to move?
Yeah. People say, I have an announcement to make.
I know.
That sounds serious.
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting.
Yes.
And then when you announced it, it's like, we should have done like our heart rate test.
I should have hooked you up first.
We were all just like...
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Okay, and now Carol.
Yay.
Yeah.
So Carol is our freeform embroidery expert. So she's going to be teaching in July our ABCs of embroidery, we're calling it, but it is freeform, not cross-stitch, like counted thread embroidery, I guess, so technically. But anywho, so she's going to teach that. We'll put a picture in. It's a really cute but simple, right, little sampler.
Yes,
It's that. So that's it, which, like, I didn't know until we started talking about it. Like, the difference between a cross-stitch sampler and then, but this is considered, right, like an embroidery sampler?
Yes.
Okay. So that's so cool. Like, I didn't know that.
You know, I was reading last night on Facebook, like, what's the difference between cross-stitch and embroidery? Someone was asking that. And the answers were, like, of course, all over the place. But the one I like the best is that cross-stitch is a form of embroidery, but you're kind of using some of the same stitches, and it's mostly X's or part of X's.
Yeah.
Where, with embroidery, it's like a whole bunch of different stitches. So, but it gets more complex.
But I
than that,
think
of
that
course,
makes
but-
sense because, like, I think people do think embroidery is like what I would call a free-form embroidery.
Right.
So all the different stitches.
Right.
But cross stitch is just like kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
But they're all under the heading of
embroidery.
embroidery.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
different
So
forms.
so
yeah.
you called it, I'm trying to remember, because I call it surface embroidery. You
Oh,
call
okay.
it
I call it free-form.
freeform.
But
It's
I
kinda
guess
the same.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so I will be teaching the class very, very, very basic for first times, so we'll just be learning real basic things. I am an expert at it because I know what not to do. Because when I first started, I did it all wrong. So I know all of the wrongs. And that's how you learn the rights, right?
I learned
Yeah.
everything the hard way. Don't
yeah,
worry.
Yeah. Me
Like,
too.
like too big of a floss and a little tiny hole.
Yep.
The needle, thread
Good.
it
Yeah.
just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then,
How did you get into embroidery did you start with cross stitch or like what was your journey?
no, so I first did embroider when I was a teenager, maybe an adolescent,
Okay.
when I was growing up. So I was familiar with it.
Okay.
I did enough at home. And then I went away from it for quite a long time. And it was before COVID. I was looking at, on Facebook, my mom's friend had these beautiful blocks that she was embroidering. And I was looking at it, and I was thinking of something to do. And I'm like, you know what? I like doing that. I can do that.
Yeah.
So I went and bought a little kit and started doing that. Remember that?
That's how it all started.
And I was thinking, you know what? This won't take too much space. Just fabric, a thread, a needle, some scissors, a hoop.
Well, like the basics are pretty. I mean,
They are.
basic, but then it's amazing how it just.
Because I don't have a lot of space. Because I used to love crafting, scrapbooking, all that stuff where you needed a room, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this won't take too much space.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Here
We won't
are.
talk about it today.
No, we
Well,
won't talk about that.
I kind of have a shop for all my supplies.
But then COVID hit, right?
hit,
And
right.
then we were in the same bubble.
Yep,
So we
yeah.
stitched all the time.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
in the bubbles in the bubble.
Yep.
And
You
and
can pop in. We have a pop in.
Papa Stitcher.
You didn't even say hi, boy. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Carol.
So I mean, basically that's how
Yeah.
it started. Long
Yep.
story to go beyond that, but
Yeah.
it just
And now here we are.
Carol's
Yeah.
very talented at her embroidery.
She
is amazing at painting with threads, but she is going to be such a great teacher for breaking it down for you.
Yeah. And speaking of painting with threads, let me throw in, Carol doesn't even know this, our Cottage Garden Threads has cleared customs.
Oh my god.
So
That's
it's in
exciting.
Chicago. So
That's awesome.
hopefully one of these days it'll be
Oh,
alright.
cool.
yes,
But yeah, because they're good for thread painting, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
they're
very
really,
good.
yeah. So that'll be in July. So again, just like the beginner cross stitch is like you don't need any experience at all. You've never even looked at a needle and thread. You are more than welcome
teach
to
you.
come.
Right.
Yep.
And then in August, Carol's going to be teaching more of an intermediate
Yeah.
class. So anyone who maybe like you used to do it, right, or is coming back to
like a
it,
refresher.
Right.
maybe
Coming-
a little bit
refresher,
combined, but
and-
also with like some more advanced techniques.
Yeah.
So you can do the beginner and then go to
Yep.
the
Oh,
intermediate.
definitely,
Yeah, okay.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing ever
awesome.
too difficult with me.
Cool. And then I'm doing the end of June, a refresher class. So anyone who used to cross stitch, or even if you have experience, I think, with other forms of sewing, we won't be as basic or beginner as in the beginner one, but we'll be doing that too then the end of June. So
There we go.
Then you need to let us know what else you want to learn.
well, yeah. And then we're gonna do definitely more finishing for our
definitely.
word to be figured out. What could we call that? We need to call it something.
What for?
Yeah, for when you just finish it, but it's not fully finished.
Oh,
But anyways,
yeah. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
we need to
vocabulary.
brainstorm that. But otherwise, I think is
Yeah.
that everything?
I'm
think
usually
so.
I'm usually on top of it with words, but not today.
Not
Yeah.
today. It's a 3-day weekend.
No,
you gotta
no.
relax.
Yes.
No, my brain's on stitching.
Well, Carol went to a really fun retreat
Yes,
this week
in
too.
Galena.
So
Yep.
in Galena. So
Monday through
she's-
Friday stitching.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like
Yeah.
that's
That
it.
was your job all week.
Yeah,
all
that's
week.
nice.
All week. That's all I had to do was stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. darn it.
Sounds terrible.
Oh.
Yeah. Awful.
And then surrounded by other stitchers. I mean,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys both for joining
Absolutely.
me. This is like our first really, I think, official Flosstube
Yeah, it is.
type of thing. Not just showing you stuff in the shop. So who better to share it with than Amanda and Carol.
Thank
So,
you.
all right. We hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you again soon.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.